Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Ginger Runner Live number 111. 111. Kim's got a chair. It's not really a chair. It is still the cooler.
It's better than no chair.
It is better than no chair. Welcome to the show tonight, guys. This is one of those shows that I've talked about doing every couple of weeks, every couple of shows. I think we're going to kind of do it every 6 to 8 weeks or so. Basically, it is a inspirational and viewer mail show. This is where I get to hear from you guys with stories, race recaps, all that kind of thing, and I get to relay it back to the viewers because you guys continue to inspire us on the regular. So I just thought it was a great idea to help share these stories with you guys in hopes that it also continues to inspire you. Hearing stories from the viewers is by far our favorite thing ever. And so why not share them? So that is tonight's episode. Very excited. We have some really good stories. I got a ton of emails from you guys today. And if you still would like to share your story, feel free to email it to us at thegingerrunner@gmail.com and use the subject viewer mail and it will pop in there. But let's get this show started. Welcome everyone to Ginger Runner Live. Ginger Runner. Yay! Also, kind of in the essence of tonight's show, welcome. I realize that I also have to reintroduce this because for the podcast, I don't include that intro bit. Tonight's show, episode number 111. I'm very excited about it. Again, we're going to do this every 6 to 8 weeks or so. Viewer mail and inspiration, where the viewers get to share their stories of triumph or failure. All is inspiring to many people, but we get to share that back with the viewers and maybe even bring in some surprise guests from time to time as well. Easily, the last time we did this, a couple of weeks ago, I think it was in February, early February, one of my favorite shows yet, purely because the response from you guys was overwhelmingly positive. You loved hearing other people's stories and even meeting some of the Ginger Runner Nation. So that I think is really awesome and something that we're going to continue to do. Tonight's episode, tons of stories to share with you of success over the last weekend. A lot of races this weekend happening, but kind of in that essence of viewer mail. We have some wonderful friends at Sufferfest Beer that gifted us some of their delicious brew, and so Kim and I are going to partake in this tonight. There you go, baby.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's a couple of comments already in the chat room about your beard getting nice and full, maybe having like a Gary Robbins inspiration behind it. And also people are wondering if you're under the weather today.
Inspiration / jealousy of Gary Robbins' beard, perhaps. Laziness, most definitely. Yeah, the beard is coming into its own. You can go back on the Ginger Runner channel and look at reviews where I do have just a big beard. It happens every once in a while. If you go back, I think last November, December, all the reviews had just like just a giant puff on the face. I think I'm just lazy, and it's hiding like the weight gain underneath my chin.
Oh, stop.
I am also under the weather.
Both are like a little.
I'm actually feverish right now. Like I feel really hot. It actually feels really good.
I just want to say a quick hello to Guillaume in the chat room. He just popped in just to say hello, but he says he needs to go back to work.
Guillaume Comet. We've had him on the show before. Guillaume, SoCal runner, Frenchie. He's also in amongst the evergreens at the very end. He's one of the just a fantastic runner. I almost said hola, Guillaume. Different language.
Wrong.
But have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by. Guillaume just did here's some inspiration. He started at like 4 p.m., did a 6-hour night run solo in the Santa Monica Mountains here in just north of Los Angeles or Hollywood proper. Super inspiring just to go run alone for 6 hours in that wilderness. And it made me actually tell you, I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to just start at like 6 p.m. one night and just go out. Okay, let me get this open. If I'm sick, the only cure is beer.
And if I look like I'm slouching, I'm just noticing in the playback, I look like I'm kind of like slouching. It's because I'm trying not to fall off the cooler. We'll figure this out, you guys.
What do you think of Kim being on the show? Because I think it's a big deal, and I like it, and I think she does really good things for the chat room and for the audience and for the live show. She makes it easier to look at. I'll tell you that.
I like
for
being
sure.
in the chat room. I like seeing all the familiar faces. So I will actually be kind of keeping my eyes. My laptop is down here as well.
Yep.
So I'll be keeping my eyes on that again tonight. So if I look like I'm tuning out, it's because I'm
You're in the chat room
with you guys.
It's the same with me. My laptop's down here, so if I'm tuning out, it's actually me just looking at either the live chat room or the emails, which I'll be reading tonight. Okay, so
people are saying that you should keep me.
Yeah, well, duh. What do you think? What do you think we did this?
Yeah,
Can't let that one go. I agree. So we'll look at it for future episodes, because when I have guests on, it's great to have Kim in the chat room while I'm conversing with the guest, because you guys have all these questions, and I realize after 100 episodes, I only get to a fraction of your questions, which sucks, because the whole part of doing this live and even bringing on big guests, big elite guests or surprise guests and stuff, I want you guys to be able to feel like you can interact with them. I don't want you to feel like your questions aren't getting answered. So having Kim is a huge bonus. Being able to read your questions and relay them. Having her here in person is even better, because then she can just go, Ethan, shut up. We got questions in the chat room, which I think I need, because I love to just talk and talk and talk, which I'm doing right now. Tonight's episode, all about inspiration. We gathered some inspiration this weekend by following along for the Lake Sonoma 50, the Gorge Waterfalls 50K, which we have a very close attachment to. But I have to give huge shout outs to all of the athletes that at Lake Sonoma 50, fantastic race, which I was apparently registered to race, which I did not realize until essentially
Somebody
the week,
told you.
until someone on Twitter was like, hey, can't wait to see you at Lake Sonoma. And I was like, I'm not registered. And I went on, I was like, how did I get registered? The race director just mistakenly registered me months ago. I just did not see it. I had no idea. John Menninger is an incredible guy. I can't wait to run Lake Sonoma in 2017. That being said, the race went on this weekend, and the winners, first and second place, both male and females, get golden tickets going to Western States. And I believe the first place male, Jim Walmsley, already had a ticket to Western States. So it basically trickles down to, it'll continue to trickle down until fifth place, right? Like,
yep,
it won't go beyond that.
What I was researching.
So Tim Frericks and Mario Mendoza were second and third place, and they get their golden tickets. It's really great to see Mario. He's an outstanding athlete. And Tim, who I don't think I've met Tim in person, also incredibly fast athlete. We were going to have Jim on the show tonight, and I was also going to ask the female winner as well, Yao. I believe it's pronounced Yao or Yo.
Sure, somebody will correct us.
Please, correct me, because I have not, again, met her in person, but I know that she's a San Francisco Bay Area runner. Super talented, crazy fast. I wanted to have them both on the show tonight. Unfortunately, Jim, I know, is now traveling. He's like in Yosemite, adventuring post Lake Sonoma win with Tim. So they're off adventuring in the backwoods. And I was like, you know what, maybe we'll save both of them to come onto the show right before Western. I think that'll be great leading up. So huge congratulations to everyone that got the golden ticket, and Yo Wang, as well as Casey Lichtai, who's another guest of the show as well.
She had a great race.
Such a great race. Super solid. It sounded like she just was focused all day, smiling and thanking volunteers and saying hi to everybody, and slowly worked her way up. Patience. So that was pretty cool. And our buddy Yassine and Ian Sharman, first and second at Gorge Waterfalls 50K, which I thought was pretty cool too.
I also wanted to just give a quick shout out. I had a couple friends running Lake Sonoma, a couple of my Vancouver running buddies, and one of them in particular has been like, talk about inspiration. She's been struggling with a really gnarly foot injury for the last few weeks. She's barely been able to actually get any time on feet or any kind of impact. She's been doing a little bit of pool stuff, and that's about it. But she ran her first 50 miler, and she killed it
at Lake Sonoma, right?
Congrats, Elaine. Yeah.
Good job, Elaine. Way to get it done. Yep. And it just proves that, you can doubt yourself and doubt your abilities and doubt your training and everything. But come race day, you never know. You never know what you can actually pull off. So congratulations, Elaine. All right, let's get to the emails. Many of you out there sent in your stories, whether it was from this weekend or a recent race, maybe that you ran, or training runs. I kind of sorted through a bunch of them, and we'll be going through them essentially in chronological order from arrival into my inbox. Good. Great work. This one comes from, it's saying J Ox. I just want to call him Jocks. I think it's great. It says, Ginger Runner, I ran my second half marathon in as many weeks. Back to backs. I ran most of the 13.1 miles besides a wheelchair racer and a heart transplant recipient and his nurses. I ran most of it. Oh, besides, I get it. Besides a wheelchair racer and a transplant recipient and his nurse. Talk about not having anything to complain about. I also finally got to meet some fellow runners from an online running group and had instant camaraderie. That is what I love about the running community. There are so many amazing people, and we all call each other, and we can all help each other. I have 2 other races this spring, and then I'm planning on fundraising for the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and running the Memphis Marathon in December. Hopefully better than I did last year. You should come run it as well for St. Jude. Thanks for the awesome videos and reviews. You helped me get hooked on running, and my wife loves the reviews too. Jeremy Oxborough, aka Jocks. Thank you, Jeremy. That's fantastic. It's amazing where you can find the inspiration during a race as well. That's happened to me many times, where you'll be running by somebody and you'll just like, I remember there's one specific race. I think it was the San Francisco Marathon, the second one that I ran. I was running behind someone who only had one leg, and you can't help but watch and learn, essentially. That all the suffering you're going through at that moment and in life, it really just doesn't compare. And you really have no kind of bearing on what is truly possible. And it's so inspiring and can really help push the miles by. So that's cool that you were able to get that as well. And congratulations on doing the back-to-back, like week two half marathons in 2 weeks. It's great.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yep.
All right. So Jocks, thank you for the story. This one's from Sander, frequent viewer of the show from the Netherlands. And I believe he's not going to be able to watch the show live because he's in the Netherlands.
Yeah. Time change.
Time change. Yeah. Lots of time differences. But we'll probably be able to make the archive version. Hi, Ethan. Hi from the Netherlands. Can't make it because I am sleeping. Okay, that's the whole email. No, it's not. I ran the Rotterdam Marathon on Sunday. I was injured 6 weeks before the marathon and was doubting I could even make it to the finish line. I took it easy on the start and had no real pain except the usual with the time of 4:04. Super happy. Nice job, Sander. I made it. No real training for 6 weeks, and a strong mind can finish a marathon. Never doubt, never quit. The marathon was a party with super nice weather, be it a bit warm. Have a great show. Nice, Sander. One, congratulations. It's fantastic. You got it done. 4:04, fantastic time. Really, really solid effort, especially with like no training. The advice as far as you can run a marathon without training, yeah, it's possible. I don't recommend it.
It's not pretty, though.
It's not pretty. But great job. Way to get it done. Way to absolutely push through. All right. Sorry, you got enough inches there?
Good.
We got to get Kim more inches.
I think I just keep looking at that and it just looks like I'm almost like
just sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This next email, oh, you know what? I kept this in purely because I'm assuming it's a troll email, but it's funny and it's short and it's on point. This is from Alex. Ethan, longtime viewer, first time mailer. I don't know about that. Yesterday, I tried to do a marathon, but I was a wee bit sick and then I did a poop, so I stopped. That's it.
That was from me.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me.
I'm sorry that you had to stop your marathon. Next time,
just poop and carry on.
Yeah, poop and carry on. It's happened to all of us. Okay, cool. This one's from Todd Wiggins. Ethan, I'm turning 48 in May. Just started running regularly about a year and a half ago. That's awesome. It's never too late to start. And I'm not saying 48 is late. But yeah, anyone can start running at any time. Ran several half marathons and my first road marathon last year. Focus is now on trails and stretching the distance. Ran first 25K trail recently and have some 50K trail races here in Tennessee on the calendar for later in the year. Would love to tackle a 50 miler out west in 2017. What races would you recommend for someone looking to test out a 50 miler? Great question. First of all, Tennessee, you've got some tough trails out there. I just posted a picture to Instagram just before show where we went on a hike during Barkley where we just were like out on trails and we were going up to a viewpoint. We talked about it on last week's show, but it's a picture of a waterfall, and the point of the photo is to show you that, yeah, there's a waterfall going through the photo, but you remove that and everything begins to look the same. Like all those forests out there are brown and gray, at least at this time of year. And all the colors begin to mesh together. Go check out the photo. But you have some gnarly mountains and trails out there.
It's beautiful, but it's
gorgeous.
a little rugged.
Yeah, and I imagine the Smoky Mountains are even more so. We didn't get all the way out to the Smokies, but have heard amazing things. Lots of good races, 50 milers
50
out here.
milers.
If you're looking for a challenge, we are hugely connected to the Squamish 50 miler, Gary Robbins's race up in Squamish, BC, British Columbia, where Kim lived.
It's up near Vancouver.
Up near Vancouver, just like 45 minutes north.
It's not that far.
Beautiful terrain, beautiful location. Highly recommend it. Very tough, but totally worth it. There's a bunch of Southern California 50 milers. Kira Henninger puts on. There's one this weekend. Leona Divide 50 milers, great. Sean O'Brien 50 miler is awesome. Ray Miller North Face, which was Northern California in the Marin Headlands. There's tons of races up there that are just absolutely worth your time because the Marin Headlands are fantastic. I mean the list can go on and on and on. There's tons in Oregon. Like we haven't even touched the Oregon 50 milers that are out there. So
there's a lot. There's a lot out here.
I think Ultra Sign Up has a list, and I would highly encourage you to check out that list. I'm dripping sweat.
It's hot in here. It's not just your fever.
Okay, great. Great. So thank you, Todd, and congratulations on your race. And let us know what you decide to choose as far as a 50 miler out here westbound. Lots of good stuff. This one comes from Rich Piers. Hey, Ethan, I'm a 45-year-old runner from Ontario, Canada. I've been an on and off runner for 25 years, but pretty serious the last 2 years. I tackled my first serious trail race, the North Face Endurance Challenge in Ontario last July. I signed up for the half marathon confidently. My PR on the trail was around the 2-hour mark, so I went into it cocky without a shred of fear. To make a long story short, I had my ass handed to me, underprepared in all areas, hydration, nutrition, and gear. And to make things worse, it was humid as hell. I suffered and made the 4-hour cutoff with a 3:59 finish. No lie. I learned a ton from that disaster. And with finding inspiration through running, blogs, videos of my favorite ultra runners, Gary Robbins, Michael Arnstein, Dean Karnassus, and yes, Ginger Runner films, my favorite being the Squamish 50/50 video, I've taken their experiences and advice to amp up my training and race entries. I just completed Badwater Cape Fear 50 kilometer at the end of March, and have my first 50-mile trail race at the end of May, North Face, Ontario 50K in July, and a 7-day stage race, the 160 kilometer in total in August. Learning and improving day by day. I am living a full life, and yes, I suppose I've got the running bug. Cheers, Rich.
Wow.
Hardcore, man. That's fantastic. 45-year-old runner, 25 years running, the last 2 years more seriously working into the ultra realm and all that kind of thing. I love hearing the stories of like went into the race cocky and basically blew up hard. Those are the races you learn from. And I gave you major respect for having like a 2-hour PR, what it sounded like, and then you went in and you got a 4-hour race finish. I imagine that you went back to the drawing board and like, what the hell did I do wrong? Fixed it, and now you're ready to roll again. So that's fantastic. And congratulations on finishing the Badwater Cape Fear 50K. I heard great things about that race. What's the chat room doing?
Chat room is talking a little bit of buzz about Squamish. People are saying it's kind of on their list. Joe Pope from Hawaii.
What's up, Joe?
He's in there. He's saying that that's on his list. And I said, definitely. He says, should be like a shorter, cooler version of Hurt. Kind of. Yeah.
I think, the reason Gary does so well there is because he trains on those trails that are
technical stuff.
Yeah, really technical.
Lots of climbing.
Beautiful views.
Really great.
Less jungle.
And a really great just race weekend atmosphere. That's one of my favorite things about the whole Squamish weekend is it's a fun weekend.
And again, it's also like family. You know, the community up there is fantastic. The town it finishes and starts in is a mountain town where mountain bikers, rock climbers, hikers, outdoors people love to commune. Great little restaurants, great beer. I mean, it's a great finish line party. Highly recommend it.
And people just like hang out for the weekend too.
Yeah.
And it's, it's kind of the same crowd every year with new additions, which is, it's always nice because you see the familiar faces at the aid stations and at the finish line. It's kind of like Squamish family.
Yeah, Squamish family. We love it. We'll be back as many times as possible. This next one's a bit longer, and there's a photo to go along with it. I'll show the photo afterwards, but it's a longer story, so bear with me. But it's a great one. This comes from Lawrence Hamilton Hopkins. Hey, Ethan, last Sunday, my first race in Europe, I had entered the Paris Marathon. I live in the UK. The whole experience was a great one, even the rush to get mine and my wife's passports the day we left. Holy crap. The rush to get passports it's very stressful. On Friday, we were up at 4:30 to drive to Canterbury. The name of my next album actually is Canterbury, which from our house is 10 minutes to then catch the coach to London, which is an hour and a half from Canterbury. We get to London just fine, have our appointment with the passport office. We pay the extra to have our passports renewed done in 4 hours. We go back after 4 hours to pick up our passports, then run to our coach, which leaves in 15 minutes back to Canterbury. We make it, yay. We then travel back to home to pick up the car, pick up our children and the sitter, drive to Dover via the mom's house to catch the ferry to Calais, France. We do this with what seems we do this. Oh my God, sorry. We do this with what seems easy, which is nice. The next part of the journey is the 3-hour drive to Paris to the hotel. I'm a little tired by this point. Yes, yeah, so am I. Just thinking about all of this. But we get to Paris at midnight and pull right up to the outside of the hotel. Greet the receptionist. She says that we'll get towed if we leave the car where it is, and recommends we find a pay lot and display it. It sounds like you had a pretty crazy night. I'm going to kind of skip ahead here. On the left, the weekly attendance at this park run is normally 40, but the weekend of the marathon, they're talking about doing like a pre-race run, is normally 40 to run this run. This weekend, with like-minded people, we made it to 176 people in Paris. Then a quick trip back to our hotel to shower and chance to make it to the Marathon Expo to pick up our race numbers. With the Expo done, I'm skipping ahead a little bit here. We, of course, decide to see the sights with the trip to the Eiffel Tower. Always a good thing, especially when in Paris. Got to take you there. You'd love it. Then we are off. Sorry, guys. I realized that, okay, here we go. I'm skipping parts just because I don't want to tell the whole story, but I just want to make sure I get the race part stuff here. Okay. We went to the starting pens. It's so amazing being a part of the 41,708 people taking part of it. It's the biggest race I've ever done. Then we're off. I was on course to hit my target time. The beauty and atmosphere was totally amazing. I loved every second. At about mile 9, the temperature went up, which made things harder. There's also very few periods in this paragraph. I imagine it's an email thing, so I'm trying to add them where it seems appropriate. The temperature went up, which made things harder, but I stayed hydrated and continued on taking in the sights, and the crowds were great, all helping push us all on. Then, at just after halfway, the runner I had made friends with at the start, Becky Aspen, fought me up and was really struggling. I don't know. But was really struggling. She said her legs hurt and was totally done. She wanted to DNF. I encouraged her to carry on and offered to run with her for a while. We ran the next few miles slowly. I tried to praise and encourage as much as possible, which is good. I told Becky that even if we were the last people to finish, we've got to get it done. It's a great medal, and the finisher shirt seemed to help for a while. She started to slow down, and indeed my target time was slipping away fast, but that didn't matter. I had to help a fellow athlete get to the finish. We stopped at the aid station to get more water and fuel, and at the aid station we're very well stocked in the water and fuel. So we carried on with Becky, regularly saying, "Just go on. I'm holding you up. Just want to call it a day." But I can't do it. I stayed. We ate up those 10 miles to the end. It was painful for Becky, but she dug very deep and finished the Paris Marathon. And I made a good friend. Then we have stayed in contact after. And after initially saying she would never do anything like it again, I had message from her saying that she is going to do a couple of half marathons, then train more for what I think is going to be another marathon. It goes on a little bit more, but it says, "From kind regards, Lawrence," and some pictures too. So here's a picture. I apologize. It's sideways. This is all my fault. This is not Lawrence's fault, but I brought it into the program where I can show you the photos, and it's sideways. So you just have to bear with me. Turn your head, everybody. I am guessing that this is Lawrence and Becky. Congratulations to both of you. The medals are, in fact, beautiful. I'm guessing that is the course on the medal there. But that is freaking awesome. I love hearing those kind of stories where you have a goal, you give up your goal to help somebody else out, because really, it doesn't freaking matter. Like, you can set a goal for yourself and train and train and train, and you want to accomplish that goal. I totally understand. But in that moment you decided my time, my goal is secondary to actually helping this individual. And I think that's really cool. I think that's awesome. So major props to you, Lawrence. Congratulations on getting it done. Congratulations on Becky getting it done as well. And hopefully she runs another marathon.
Well, it sounds like she's off to a good start of signing up or wanting to sign up.
Yeah. What's going on in the chat?
Well, I was, I'll be honest, I was a little confused because there was all these comments to the people in the chat room referencing Kim, and it was all this poop talk, and I didn't know why, and I didn't say anything about poop troubles. I'm sorry to bring so much poop into the conversation, but I realized they're actually replying back to a different Kim in the chat room.
Oh,
I
who
was
had
like,
poop
I didn't
troubles?
say anything. Yeah, I think
Man, the chat room, you guys are welcome to be as open and honest with each other as you want. I'm surprised that there's
somebody asking for suggestions on reducing poop breaks during an ultra.
Interesting.
And so that particular Kim was talking about, people are asking, what are your pre-race meals, yada yada yada. So I'm good now. I thought people
hopefully
were
she gets
like,
it resolved. It seems like the chat room's on it.
Yeah.
She or he, yeah. Sounds like the chat room is on it. There's lots of good runners in the chat room, guys. That's what I love about the live show in the chat room. There are a lot of experienced runners. There's a lot of newbies. It doesn't matter. The community is basically getting tighter and tighter every episode, and people always shout out where they're from, and it's very welcoming too. So if you are a new viewer, first-time viewer, welcome. If you are a long-time viewer, welcome back. Yeah, if you have questions, feel free to throw them into the chat room because people will always answer.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of Barkley chatter. People wondering, has Jared done any post-race interviews yet?
I didn't mention this. So last week we did our Barkley part 1. Both Gary and Jared will be on next week's episode. So we are doing part 2, and it will be Jared and Gary. I am so excited to have them both on the show together. That's something that just I don't believe has happened yet. And Jared is just the kindest guy ever, really soft-spoken. And Gary is like what I tweeted this earlier today, and it's absolutely true. Gary's one of my favorite humans on earth. He's just the nicest guy. And them together, I just want to hear, like, what did they talk about for 60 hours? So next week's episode is going to be off the charts. I'm beyond stoked.
There was a question in here. Let me see if I can find it.
Go ahead, keep looking. I'll read the next.
Somebody was just asking what hat you have on, and I actually don't.
Patagonia.
Okay.
This is a Patagonia.
I'm just trying to figure out who is actually asking that, but I'll just ask it because they can hear.
I've been wanting to make new hats, and I've been trying to find a manufacturer that manufactures them like Patagonia, because Patagonia hats fit us better than any other hats ever. This is a Patagonia hat that features pythons, like some of their original climbing gear, and I've loved this hat. I've had this for a couple of years now, and I love it. But yeah, we're trying to find a manufacturer that creates hats that are as comfortable and like well fit as the Patagonia ones. Okay, cool. Next story. I'm burpy.
Do you need
that helps?
Okay.
Yeah. Jeff Schmidt. Today, 1 year ago, my brother-in-law Steve lost his fight to cancer. So, because running is my passion, and with cancer, it's personal, I came up with a plan. I'm running from Tucson to Phoenix in June to raise money for cancer research. I know it's not something I've already done, though I have run a few 50 milers, but this will still be my first 100 miler, actually 119 miles to Chase Field, which is where he's going to finish, I believe. I totally get it if it doesn't make it onto your live show, but of course it's going to make it on my live show. This is incredible. But if it does, and if anyone is interested, the Better Than Ever Arizona Cancer Center has a direct link for donations. For that link and more info, check out Be the Generation on Facebook, or look for me directly, Jeff Schmidt. Also, my wife bought me a Ginger Runner hat a while back. Speaking of hats, and I remember what you said here, but I have a huge head and it doesn't fit. I'm going to use it as a prize for a social media campaign, if you don't mind, and have any objections. Of course, I do not. I'm surprised it doesn't fit. I purposefully I'm hoping it's the Ginger Runner hat that we're talking about that has the camp style hat that has a little GR in the middle and those colors and designs, because we purposefully made those for my huge head. I have a huge head, just like you.
But that shape also fit my head, though. Like that's
right. We made it so it could fit all heads, but it fits mine, and so that's why I really liked it. So I hope it's that. If it's not, it could be one of the trucker hats from Zazzle, which is maybe. But yes, please offer it as a prize. I am super inspired by stuff like this. This is obviously a very personal story for Jeff, and like to turn something like that that has probably affected him on a very visceral level, and to turn it into something as inspiring as like a 120-mile run, which is just a monster run from one city to another city, from Tucson to Phoenix. If we can do anything as a community to help support him, please do. Again, the charity is Better Than Ever. Arizona Cancer Center has a direct link for donations. For more info on the link, check out Be the Generation on Facebook. So yeah, I can also include a link in the description. We can probably make that happen too. I think that kind of stuff is really cool. Congratulations, Jeff. Get that done, and let us know how we can help. Very, very cool. Jose Rivera. Hello, Ethan. I love these types of GR live shows. Me too. I think they're really great.
Me too.
Yeah, Kim too. It gives us, the viewers, a chance to connect with you on a personal level. You are an inspiration in all you do, from your running, your videos, and your music. I admire your dedication and enthusiasm for the sport. You are the reason I ended up running my first 50K. Nice. And eventually my first 100-miler. Nice.
Wow.
Keep doing everything that you do. I just finished off training for my 4th Boston Marathon. I recorded most of my long runs with friends with a GoPro and put together a quick training montage. I'm no Ethan Newberry, but I'm pretty happy with it. I used one of my favorite tracks from the Grinds album, Vader. Hope you don't mind. I give you credit, of course. I thought I would share it with you. And there's a link to this YouTube video. I will also include this in the description of this video. I forgot to do that right now. So you guys can go click it and watch it. But that is awesome. Congratulations, Jose. And good luck next Monday. Boston Marathon.
That's a race that I don't think I'll ever be fast enough to
I don't think I will
run,
either.
but
Yeah.
it's a race that I would really like to spectate. You've been there and you've
Yeah.
had that experience, but it's one of those races that
It is a overwhelmingly emotional spectator event. Like, it's really pretty special. I'm sorry. It's catching up to me. The ibuprofen is wearing off. Chat room. Anything?
Robbie Run asks us, did Tennessee inspire you to find an East Coast race for 2016?
Well, it definitely inspired us to get out there more. We've talked about it.
And that was my first trip to anywhere in that part of the United States.
Mine too.
And just, I didn't really know what to expect, and just seeing the trails and being able to run on the trails a little bit, it was really cool. It's kind of like, it was very beautiful and different than obviously Southern California.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely piqued our trail interest.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. And again, also same for me, first time visiting there, and was pretty overwhelmed with how green it was. I remember when we landed in Nashville, we were just kind of like, so green. We absolutely want to go run there. We want to go back. We've talked about this. I thought we talked about it on air. We might have only talked about it with the Patreon crew. So we are talking about doing an East Coast tour. We haven't nailed down cities or locations. Maybe this is something you guys can help us with in the comments of the video. But we're talking about visiting the East Coast for a 10-day, 15-day tour, probably closer to 10 days, because I think it'll be fun to do like the road trip in a shorter amount of time. But starting in one destination and road tripping through various different locations, visiting running stores, doing group runs, going on trail runs, maybe even going to cities and doing like city runs and stuff like that. Just basically meeting the community, because we've met so many people on the West Coast and we see people at races all the time. I feel like we're leaving out a huge portion of the country. I know the world. I know we have viewers across the globe, which I think is fantastic. And the goal is to eventually get to that level. But at this point, I think doing an East Coast tour is like, we got to do it this year.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've been debating timing it with the virtual race, the Ginger Runner virtual race, which...
And there was just actually a question in the chat room about that. Just wondering if that was in the works or if that's something that's on your radar.
Yeah. This is for you live viewers, those of you guys who are actually tuning in live or watching it in the archive, because it's not like it's going anywhere. The goal is to do a virtual race, the very first Ginger Runner virtual race this year. I actually, in the car the other day, I was driving, I'm going, I want it to be called the Ginger Runner Super Awesome Happy Fun Time. Puppies, right? You know, whatever. The name is going to be awesome. It's going to be hilarious. I want it to be just fun and a blast. And it will be a virtual race where we have really good swag. You're essentially, I'm not going to give away details. We'll just tease it. And it will most likely happen August or September. It'll be a date that you can register early. The registration will probably open up very, very soon, probably in the next month or so, maybe 2 months. Um, giving us enough time. Oh my God, look how much sweat, guys. I am in fever zone right now.
You are in fever zone.
Straight. I am so sweat. I should not have worn gray.
Have you blown you?
That helps. I don't know. You know what? I would like to take my temperature right now.
Do you want me to go get the thing?
It's just right there. I'm gonna stand up. Let's see how hot Ginger.
I almost fell off the thing.
I almost fell off the thing too. First time on Ginger Runner Live, we're gonna find out if the Ginger Runner has a fever.
Also wrecking the set.
You're gonna have to read the chat room because you're gonna have to wait 30 seconds.
All right, Aries1906 asks, Kim and Ethan, are you guys running any road marathons in 2016? I originally thought I was going to do a road marathon this year because I didn't do a road race last year, and I haven't actually done a road race in I think 2 years almost. So it's been definitely something that's been on my radar as something that I've been wanting to do, just to kind of just see how my mountain legs will treat me on the road. Oh,
let's say 99.4, a little elevated. It feels a lot hotter. I feel like 101 right now.
Yeah, you're like radiating heat right now.
Well, I guess I just sweat a lot. I'm just a sweater.
It's also very hot in here.
Oh God, it is really hot. And I'm wearing sweatpants.
Look, I sweated a pocket. Oh, I pointed in the wrong.
You sweated a pocket? That's it. Maybe I sweated that pocket on you. Yeah, we talked about road marathons.
Races, yeah, I haven't done a road race in, like I said, a really long time. I kind of want to see if I'm faster. Because I've been very honest with the people that have been following me on social media. I'm very much like a mid to back of the packer. And that's just kind of where I've kind of always been. And I'm totally content with that. But at the same time, I think it'd be a really interesting gauge to see how all the trail running and the trail climbing will kind of translate over into actual road.
Yeah, I thought about the same thing with the New York Marathon last year. I was like, oh my God, I finished a 100-miler. Like, let's translate that to speed on the road. And I got my ass kicked. I have so much, like, I want to get revenge on a road marathon.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
I've yet to run a road marathon, a road full marathon that I've either been 100% healthy for, 100% trained for, or had a good experience with. I've had terrible road marathons.
I would like to go back to the San Francisco Marathon.
Me too.
It's our favorite road marathon. Big Sur Marathon as well is also really great. But yeah, San Francisco is just so great because it's a foodie town, so you can like eat really amazing food before and after, and beer, and it's great to see the sights and to get to like the Marin Headlands, and yeah, it's so much fun.
Jordan Wolf asked, Boston attempts in your future? As I said, I don't think I'm ever going to be fast enough for Boston.
Me neither. My goal is to obviously qualify.
I might qualify when I'm like in like the 70 to 80-year-old range.
Yeah. I'm with you. So let me just make sure I pull up the right one. Okay, yeah. So the next viewer, Amber Nixon, regular viewer of the show. I'm going to read her story here. She might be watching live.
I think Amber might be in the chat room.
I believe she is in the chat room. We're actually going to bring her on the show. Amber is our guest of the week, chosen because I like her story. I think it's great. She's also a frequent viewer, and I thought it would just be awesome. So, Amber, if you're watching, go ahead and click the link. But I'm going to read your story while you're probably figuring out exactly how to get on. Meantime, I need my headphones. I realize that as well. Yeah, because if we're going to have her on, we've got to hear her voice without it echoing. Okay, so I'm going to read her story here. Yesterday was my first race of the season, a 10K. I had started training again a short 5 weeks after coming off of a year-long foot injury from a race in May 2015. After discovering Hoka 1-1 shoes and super feet, running became something I could enjoy again. I didn't go into the race hoping to set a new PR, but to have fun. Here you go, baby. And Amber, I believe, is just going to join us. Amber, hold on a sec. I'm reading your story. I don't know if you can hear us or see us yet, but stand by. I'm still reading your story. Being familiar with the course from last year, where I completed my first half, I was relieved to know I could complete a 10K. My short bit of training, perseverance, learning from my errors, asking and gathering information while in the Ginger Runner Live chat room. Again, we're talking about the chat room just being an awesome source. I made this one of the best. It made it one of the best 10Ks. I was equipped with water, energy supplements, food, and gear. I know without a doubt that this was possible because of everyone in the GR Live chat room who graciously answered my questions. I also want to thank Ethan and Kim for their support. Without GR Live, their social media posts and videos, and their invested time in all that they do, this experience wouldn't have been the same. Thank you, Ethan, Kim, and GR Live Odd Adventure Club. P.S. I ended up sending a new PR yesterday. What? Shaved 4 minutes off my last 10K with an average pace of 12:45 per mile. Getting stronger and faster. And here she is, Amber Nixon. Yay!
Hi! Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course. It's great to meet you finally in person. Well, kind of in person.
Yeah, person.
So how are you recovering? What's the first step in your recovery?
So far, I'm really pleased with my recovery, especially after my foot injury of a year. I expected my plantar fasciitis to come back full throttle, and the Hoka shoes made that a blessing because it hasn't. So that's always great.
Nice.
The soreness is just the typical hamstrings, calves, you know, just your legs in general.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You followed up that initial email, which is just awesome. I mean, I want to reiterate that we have viewers of all levels. We have elites that watch the show. We have regular mid-packers, back of the packers like ourselves. And it's just so inspiring to hear every story from everywhere throughout the pack. You're going to inspire a lot of people, Amber, because this is really, really awesome. And especially to PR too, coming back to the 10K. So like, what you were talking about the GR Live audience? We have viewers that come back week after week. You're one of them. How has that helped? Like, you talked about learning and stuff like that. How has it changed for you, or changed your outlook?
The Ginger Runner community has been a blessing that I did not foresee a year ago. If I had not joined the Ginger Runner community, I don't know where I would be, because there are so many unasked questions, especially for a beginner runner, like food intake. I never knew about food, or the importance of water. And I saw so many hydration packs, but then I saw so many few hydration packs, and having that available, especially not only as the aid stations go by, which are so few and far between anyway, it's just so helpful that I can just ask a question and be like, what do you guys think about this? And then also reaching out to friends like you guys about fitness trackers, and, you know, just really starting to get serious about this career I want to explore. Although it might be still fun, I still want to make it my career.
Yeah. Do you have any goals? Like, as far like, what's the next goal for you? You
I
just
do.
knocked
In
the
fact,
10K out of the park.
it's hilarious because I made some declarations at the beginning of the year. I hate the term resolution, so we're not going to say that. But so my first declaration was to PR a 10K, and I did that, surprisingly.
Yeah,
So
done.
check. And then my next half marathon is in August. It's the Iron Goat Trail. I guess it's a new race here in Western Washington, so I'm really excited about that. And then my last goal is to start training for a marathon for this year.
Nice.
I want to train and hopefully get on board and do a marathon next year.
That's fantastic. Absolute more power to you. I don't foresee this being any problem, figuring that you just rocked the 10K like nobody's business. You wrote me a follow-up email, which I think is great. You talked about 5 things that you learned on your 10K. Do you want me to go through this, or do you have it in front of you? Do you want to go through these 5 things you learned?
Do you have it in front of you?
I do. Yeah, I'll read
Go
it
ahead.
and you can talk about it. So number 1 was, when you see a porta potty, take advantage of it. I think that's hilarious. Was that a lesson that you learned in this 10K, or is that just kind of over time?
It was a lesson I learned. It was, you know, you got the jitters going, and you're like, gosh, do I go? Do I not go? If you have the slight urge, just go.
Yeah,
I mean, mile 4 hit, and I was like, why did I not go?
And you don't want it to be the end of you don't want it to be the end of your PR or something, like, oh,
Right.
I should have gone when I thought I had to go, or whatever. Number 2, it's okay and encouraged to refuel as you run. Eat more to keep up your energy. How did you take this one on?
So I really discovered the Scratch energy supplements. I really want to try to find more pure food, and that's so hard to find because everything has soy in it, and I am so allergic to soy. It's a terrible thing to be allergic to because it's in everything. And
Yeah.
then the Go macro bars have really helped me. And those are non-GMO, soy-free, dairy-free, because I can't have dairy either.
Hmm.
So those two things I kept in my hydration pack. And so I had some scratch about mile 3. And then at the end of my race, I had a Go macro, which are like 260 calories, or else I'll bonk.
Yep. Your number 3 is awesome. This is advice that I give to everybody, and it's good advice. Don't start running super fast like you've been shot out of a cannon. Did you learn this from experience or?
Oh, yes. I think
Yeah.
every runner has.
It's absolutely true. I always tell people to start slow, run slower. That's actually from Kim.
I think I learned it from you in one of your videos. I don't remember which one, but you started super fast and you said like at minute 5 or something, you were just like, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
I think that's happened to both of us.
It's so easy
It's
to
so
get caught
easy.
up with,
Yeah.
the excitement and the adrenaline of the start of the race.
Yeah, you feel great. I was talking to one of the Patreon supporters today on our chat. Like my Seattle Marathon in 2007, which is my first marathon back after a 6-year hiatus. I was trained, ready to go. The first half marathon, I'm like, oh man, this is like a 1:30 marathon or half marathon. I'm gonna rock this full. Within 30 seconds of feeling that, I had hit the wall at mile 13. My whole marathon was wrecked. You go too fast too soon, and it's just the end of your race. You also said thank the volunteers. I think this is great.
I learned that from you guys. I
Yeah,
mean,
explain a little bit about that, Amber. That's great.
I think not having been a volunteer yet, I would love to be, but they don't have to be there. The aid stations would not be there without them. The the moms cheering, especially when you're a solo runner. I don't run with anybody else, so you start getting discouraged sometimes too quickly, and all of a sudden you hear somebody cheering. They don't know your name, but it's just so fulfilling to hear somebody going, "Yeah, go!" And you're just like, "That's exactly what I needed." You don't know how I'm feeling, but thanks.
I love it. 100% agree with Amber. Thank every volunteer, and it not only is great for them, it's great for your own kind of morale especially when you're at a low point. I have been in low points in specifically in road marathons, because you see volunteers more frequently, and a lot of them. But there's been times where I've been so low, just like this race isn't going well. New York Marathon is a perfect example. You start saying thank you and smiling, especially to like police officers and volunteers. It helps immensely in your own kind of mental boost. It's great.
It's nice for them, and then it just makes you feel better too.
100%. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great for everybody. It's
Absolutely.
win-win. Win-win.
Yeah.
And your final one is awesome, Amber. You're not a quitter. So talk about this one.
This is something I learned not only from the community and Ginger Runner Adventure Club, but just, I gotta say, your Amongst the Evergreen videos really, I think, has touched a lot of people, including myself. And I gotta say, when I was running and I heard that song playing in the background, I was at mile 4. I was starting to get to that low point of like, gosh, I only have 2.3 miles left. It was a longer race. And so when that song came on, knowing that I was not the only person in this entire world that has anxiety about racing, it just uplifted my spirits and just made me go, even if I walk the rest of the way, at least I will say I have done it. I could skip. Let's just skip.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Crawl on my hands and knees,
Absolutely. Whatever it takes to get to that finish line. It's such a simple thing to think about. It's such a simple thing to say. It is so much more to embrace it and absorb it and use it during a run. But I agree with Amber. You are not a quitter. You could be at the lowest of lows, the lowest point in your race. Don't give up. Don't stop. The 100-miler Cascade Crest amongst the Evergreen, which Amber referenced there. I thought I was done multiple times during that race, not out of overexerting myself or anything like that, but outside circumstances coming into play. Hypothermia, having no control over my own limbs and my own body heat, but being surrounded by people like Kim, my whole crew, Justin and Destiny, and Gary Robbins, and everybody just being there to tell me, you're not done. It kind of helps emphasize that mental power that everyone has, and you don't quit. You just don't, unless you're broken arm
Injured.
or the a bone is hanging off. Don't.
Hate it
Don't
when
quit.
bones hang off.
Oh God, those bones just hanging out. So Amber is absolutely right. Amber, a huge congratulations. We give you applause for rocking your 10K.
Give you
getting
applause
your
too for hosting the shows.
Oh, no problem. This is fun for us. So make sure to show some Amber some love. Show Amber some love in the chat room. I'm sure she's in there actually right now.
The chat room is like blowing up.
Chat room's blowing up. Thank you, Amber, for jumping on. Really appreciate it, and thank you for being a continued support of everything that we're doing here. You rock. You totally rock.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And you guys, I hope you feel better soon first. But I really
appreciate
everything you do too.
Yeah, I'm a giant man baby. It's true. It's absolutely true. Cool. So enjoy the rest of the show, Amber. I think just click the hang up, because I think if I hang up on you, then it blocks you completely. I don't want to do that. So
bye.
Cool. See you later. That is awesome. Congratulations, Amber. I've seen her in the chat room almost every live show. She's talked a lot about her races. She always has great questions.
She's also like one of the sweetest people. Like she'll like comment on something that I've posted and just is really encouraging and supportive. And
anything we can do to help support.
People.
I like nice people too, and she is good people.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she had a great experience at the 10K, and I hope it helps inspire some of you guys out there too. To know that anything is possible, and that you can get it done, and you don't have to quit. It's all good. Cool. I'm gonna kind of keep going here. We had one. Where is it? Did I read Jose's? Yes, I read Jose's. What's going on in the chat room?
I just had a question from Lori Hall.
Oh yeah, Lori, another frequent viewer. What's going on?
She's posting under Chuck's name. She says she's Lori, but maybe it's
We'll
Chuck.
see. Maybe it's Chuck.
She said, "Hi, it's Lori. How did you transition to being vegetarian? I want to give it a go, and I think it'd be worth it, but it's so hard. Where do you start?"
Cold turkey.
Yeah, we both kind of did.
I think we challenged each other. 2008. It was just after I moved to Los Angeles. And it wasn't because of Los Angeles.
You've changed. Los Angeles has changed you.
It's changed you. It was not LA that did it.
I'll tell you what started it for me. What started it for me is that particular Christmas, I ate a lot of like junk food, but like delicious, yummy Christmas junk food. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, when you're doing Christmas outings, you're doing drinks every night, you're doing the rich food. And I just felt terrible. Like I actually felt like I was like eating way too much rich food, and just like I just didn't feel well. So I actually did a little bit of a cleanse afterwards. It was still not like a no eating cleanse. It was a cleanse where you could still eat, but it gave me the option to not eat meat. Mm-hmm. You could eat certain meat if you wanted to, or not eat it. So I chose to not eat it for the 10-day cleanse or whatever it is that I did. And I realized I just felt better, and I actually didn't miss the meat at all. I just haven't looked back. I didn't find it difficult, I guess. And I don't know if that was just from my own eating habits prior to that.
I imagine for someone who eats like hamburgers or steaks or even just chicken on a regular basis, or has like breakfast sausage, or, you know, you have meat at least once or twice a day. I imagine it's more difficult. I think when I made the transition, I did it cold turkey purely because of health reasons. I really wanted to try something new. I was feeling really lethargic after, you know, large meat-based meals. And being in Los Angeles, it makes it really easy. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of restaurants that cater to vegetarians and all sorts of dietary restrictions.
When you live in a bigger city...
Oh, sorry.
I guess I don't need that in anymore.
We don't need this anymore.
When you live in a bigger city, it's definitely easier. I'm from a very, very small town. And when I go home to that small town, eating vegetarian is definitely much more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
It's still possible, you know, do all your own cooking, but eating out and stuff like that is a little bit more difficult. So I think that helped living in Vancouver and Los Angeles, for sure.
I imagine getting a cookbook or finding a way to have a number of recipes, very easy recipes that you can throw together that are all vegetable based. That's huge for us. Kim is an amazing cook. And I know that we have kind of a maybe 5 to 10 staple recipes that Kim is just like, what about this tonight? I'm like, yeah. Tonight we're having vegetables stir fried in a Trader Joe's curry sauce, or like simmered in a Trader Joe's curry sauce with rice.
So super simple.
Super simple.
Tofu, veggies. We always load up on the veggies. Don't make the mistake that a lot of people make, which is
salad and French fries.
Right.
That is the you go to a restaurant, you're like salad and French fries, because the salad is veggies, and then the French fries are like your indulgence. I made that mistake. I ended up gaining weight, obviously. it took me maybe 6 to 8 months to kind of figure out that's maybe not the diet for me, or I don't want to say diet, but maybe like nutritional change. So I kind of went back to more moderate meals and figuring out like, oh, nut butters work really well, and you can kind of splurge and have like toaster waffles in the morning with your egg or something like that, or cheese, stuff.
Lori says thank you. Gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
Kim share some recipes. Feel free to email me or message me. I'm more than happy to kind of share some of our staple
Yeah,
meals.
and that's actually something that we're talking about adding to the channel too. I want to do recipe videos because I get asked a lot, like, "What's your post workout shake?" or "What's your favorite recipe?" or "What's your favorite meal?" And I think recipes would be great. People can watch a video on how to make a certain thing and that we really love to eat on a regular basis, and help spread that love.
Yeah.
Okay, this one comes from Ray Black. Hello, Ethan. How are you feeling now? I hope you're feeling better. I'm sweaty and I'm feverish, but thank you. Hopefully feeling better in a couple of days. I completed my 3rd marathon yesterday. Nothing major, but for the last 2 years, I've been running for a charity in the UK called Kidney Research, as my wife has chronic kidney disease. Now, you and I both know how tough training for and running a marathon can be. On yesterday's run, I ran a short part of the course with a kidney transplant survivor who was running his 5th marathon since his transplant and could see I was struggling a bit at mile 19. We spoke and ran for about a mile, and I was so uplifted it helped me complete the race. I know we have bad days at the office, but I was starting to judge my own ability to complete this race and would I be able to complete the London Marathon next week and even furthermore the 50K I'm doing in July. This guy has been battling with his problems, was out here encouraging me to continue. I can't thank him enough. I tried looking for him at the finish line, but couldn't find him, so I could say thank you. I love that on any given day in any race, the running community is one of the greatest you can find, or even better, or to even be a part of. So to the guy who helped me, thank you. And thank you too, Ethan. Your videos have inspired me to sign up for my first ultra, which I feel a little more confident about completing now. Keep up the good work. Regards, Ray Black. You will get it done, Ray. I promise you, you will get it done. Everyone has one of those races where you get to a certain mile and it sucks. I've had it where it's mile 2 and it sucks for 24 more miles. Like, it just happens. But really, where it's testament is your ability to continue to push on through that. We talked about it with Amber. I talked about it with my New York Marathon experience. There's many episodes of Ginger Runner Live where we talk about it almost on the regular, where someone gets to that point where they don't want to continue mentally, but they do, and they finish, and they realize that it is something that you can overcome. I wish I got him on the show tonight. Dominic Grossman, friend of ours. Dom and Katie, they've been on the show before. It sounds like, I didn't hear the full story, but it sounds like Dom had a very rough race at Lake Sonoma 50. This is coming from a guy who has finished and won Angela's Crest 100 earlier this year. I believe finished second at the Catalina Island 50 miler. He's a very experienced runner, very experienced racer. But at Lake Sonoma, he had a very long, rough patch, and it sounds like it was just a really rough day. Everyone has a rough day at the office. It's just your ability to push through that and finish. And he did. He didn't have the day he wanted, but he managed to get it done. I'm going to talk to him, I believe, this week. So I'm going to find out more about that story. Maybe we can get him on a future episode to talk about it, because hearing, especially from elite athletes or sponsored athletes, that they have rough days and they can push through them and get it done. That's also really inspiring, because it's so easy for an elite athlete to go, I'm having a terrible day. My results aren't going to be what I want. I'm going to drop. If it's an injury, I totally understand. But if it gets to that point of like, I don't, it's going to affect my ultra sign up score or whatever that is, that's a different story. Dom is not one of those cases. It sounds like he just had a terrible day. So we'll have to talk about it.
I just want to say kudos to you for supporting the charity for kidney disease, and your wife, who sounds like she's currently going through it. I am wearing a kidney disease bracelet because I lost my aunt who also suffered from kidney disease. So I think it's great. I like hearing people that have personal connections to charities that are actually raising money for those kinds of things, and you're obviously supporting something that's very near and dear to you. So
much power to you. And much love to your family. I think that's kind of wrapping up the main show here, guys. I wanted to end with that one because it's super inspiring, and I think it's something that we can all learn from. A lesson that we all have to face at some point in our running career. I love doing these shows. I will do them as often as possible without getting too boring. I don't think it's boring for us, but I don't want, I want you guys to be able to continue to communicate with elite athletes and athletes of all levels. So let us know in the comments. Is the viewer mail something that you want to see continue? I hope the answer is
I
yes.
do.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't even matter what you guys think. We're gonna do it.
I think this gives us a great opportunity to learn more about you guys, because we see you guys, we see your usernames, we see you on Instagram, we all across social media, but this actually gives us a little bit more information and a look into each of you, which is something that's really important for me and you too. So
yep. And we have a number of stories that I was not able to get to during this live show. We're saving them for the next one. So I know many of you guys even emailed during the show. We'll get to those in the next
everybody's
version.
like, yes. Love the show. Love the show.
Yeah, viewer mail. And there is a P.O. box that if you guys want to, I want to put that out. I don't want to like, Casey Neistat is a perfect example of someone who puts their address out there and just receives like thousands of dollars worth of stuff. That's not why I would do this. There is a P.O. box where I'm thinking about kind of not changing what's on the wall, but adding maybe photos of viewers, maybe on a long trail run or something like that. So think about that. Don't rush to do it right now, but there is a P.O. box address on gingerrunner.com, I believe. It's at the bottom.
It's right at the bottom of the homepage.
At the bottom of the homepage there on the left-hand side. I want to spice up the wall. I have so many pieces of art, and I know that we've been talking about relocating just our family, and that would possibly involve making a bigger wall at some point, because this room is, it's literally, there's a wall right there, which would mean we'd have more space to do that sort of thing. So don't rush out to send photos. In fact, I might even say, hold off. And we'll make a bigger announcement later, just saying like, would love to see race photos and stuff like that. We got a postcard from a viewer once that was pretty cool. Like, hey, just updating you.
Yeah.
I think it was from Mount Rainier. It was something like that, where someone traveled to a destination that we've been to, something like that, and was like, hey, I'm traveling to where you guys filmed this video, and it's really cool and inspiring. Just wanted to send you a postcard. That was really cool. Yeah. So stuff like that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna wrap up the main show. Stick around. We are gonna do a real quick post show, because both of us, I need to change out of my shirt, and we need to eat dinner and get back to work, essentially, because this album ain't gonna drop itself.
I'm gonna drop it.
Yeah, Kim's gonna drop it. Okay, if I'll finish with the spiel. New album will be dropping soon. Expect that. I'm guessing in the next month or so, I will be dropping the new Ginger Runner album. I'm very excited about it. It features a lot of music that I've used in videos leading up to this point, because I kind of stopped in releasing singles so I could release an album. In addition to that, if you would like to help keep the lights on and the mics hot, go to patreon.com/thegingerrunner. Get in right now, because for as little as $1 a month, everything helps. It is a month-to-month thing. It's just like Kickstarter, but you can come and go as you please. I will be creating new art. We reached a level now where everyone that's on there will receive some special handmade art that I'm creating right now. And I'm very excited to release that in the next couple of weeks for everyone that's on Patreon. So consider it. If you can't afford it, don't even think about it. Like, no sweat off your back, our back. Lots of sweat off my back. It's just something to help keep the channel afloat. That's essentially it. And you guys are fantastic. The community is fantastic. I thank you again from the bottom of my heart and from the bottom of Kim's sweaty pocket.
It's an actual pocket. It's not.
It's an actual pocket.
I keep little things in here.
You are the best community around. We love meeting you in person. It just continues to inspire and continue to grow, and it is pretty damn awesome what we are all capable of. So very, very excited about that, and for future episodes of the show, and for the future of the channel. Next week, do not miss next week's show. I am just putting that out there now, especially the live show. It'll be the same in the archive, but you want to actually interact with both Jared and Gary. Jared Campbell, the only 3-time finisher of the Barkley Marathons, and Gary Robbins, the one of the very few virgin Barkley marathoners that actually managed to make it through 4.5 loops. Insane. Having them both on the show at the same time to talk about their experience together for 48 hours of that race. do not miss it. Next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here at the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss it, because it will update you every time we go live and we create new videos and stuff like that. That is it. Stick around if you want to keep watching for the post show. We'll do a quick one. Kim, any last words?
Thank you guys. This is my favorite. These are my favorite types of shows.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you guys every Monday.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And yeah, we got to get Kim a chair. All right, we'll see you in the post show.
Ginger Runner.
Yay! Post show.
This is where we can really sweat.
Oh
freely.
God, I gotta sweat freely now.
Somebody said Ethan, stop sweating. And then somebody else
Look at
said, I
this.
think Raul said that you look well rested now.
Look at the sweat. Look at this. If I push on my hands,
We'll stop doing that.
look at the pit. They're not even pits anymore. Unbelievable. I'm radiating heat.
You're.
Oh my God. Never wear gray if you're sweating.
All right.
Oh boy,
So
I'm
should we take some
sorry.
questions?
That's just embarrassing.
All right.
Well, we're all runners. See, what's great is that we're all runners. We all sweat. So
I don't. I only sweat here and a pocket shape.
if this was some other professional show or hosting gig that I had,
and you're sweating,
I'd be like,
shirt.
I'm so sorry. But in reality, I'm like, I'm kind of sorry. I'm just sick. You guys get it. The runners totally get it. Yeah. What's going on in the chat room?
I'm just gonna kind of try and scroll through and ask some questions here.
Okay.
Kristen Floyd says, "Thanks for all you do, GR and Kim. Question: what are some fun mind tricks you do in a race to keep you going?" I do something weird.
Not weird. We found out that it's not weird.
It's not weird. It's common. I count.
Mm-hmm.
I have a specific number pattern. I don't know if that means I'm crazy, but I've heard from other runners that counting is a thing.
Counting is a thing.
I have a specific numerical pattern that I count to my footsteps. So for some reason I don't my earphones broke. My headphones broke the other day.
Brand new set.
And I needed distraction.
So lame.
I just go to counting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that's what I do. Do you have any tricks?
I try. We talked a little bit about it. I try, if there's volunteers, you thank them and you be positive.
Mm-hmm.
I also try to smile. I've heard that from a number of people, where if you smile it just kind of it just kind of gets you back into the positive state. It sometimes works. It sometimes is as you're smiling, you go, this is bullshit. I'm smiling. If you keep doing it, it'll work, because you'll start laughing at yourself. I mean, if you can come out of a slump with some sort of positivity, or even a joke, or trying to think back on a funny moment, it helps.
I'm reading about your sweat stain.
Yeah, let's talk about my sweat stains more.
Theodore K2 goes, hypercolor?
Yes, it is a hypercolor. That's exactly, but it's only two colors, dark gray and light gray.
Because I remember I was just talking about those shirts to somebody. And Pete Cannon says, topless Ethan post show?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know.
Raul E as Ethan, are you lactating from your armpits?
Yeah.
All of these things, yes.
Everything, yes. Absolutely everything. Lactating from my armpits, yes. This is milk. It's armpit milk. Yeah, this is all accurate stuff.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop.
What, laughing?
Yeah.
at your husband's demise? What did you?
I love you.
You just smell it?
No, I kissed you.
Well, that's very nice of you. Except your nose was touching. Your mouth did not touch anything. There was no kissing involved.
Kim Espat, Western qualifier for Ethan this year.
I've been thinking about that all year. What's going to be my Western qualifier? I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't know, because I'm the way things are timing out with some races that I'm doing, I can't go back to the races that I used before as qualifiers. But I don't have 100 on the calendar yet this year, and I'm really I'd love to do 100. I have Trans Rockies. I just don't know what Trans Rockies is going to do to me as far as recovery.
Yeah, because that's a different format.
Totally different format than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's bite-sized pieces, 24 to 26 miles, but 6 days of it. So I'm am I going to be, I'm going to be totally wrecked. But am I going to be wrecked for 3 weeks after it,
right,
or 2 weeks because it's just a lot of long runs? I don't know. I mean, a part of me is I'd love to do Trans Rockies at the beginning of August, and I'd love to do Cascade Crest at the end of August. I don't
You
think
just don't
that's
know how you're gonna recover though. I
yeah,
think
and
that's
and I think that'd be stupid to do
that's
something like that.
unknown.
But there are a bunch of hundreds that will fall later in the year that could be potential. I mean, we talked about Air Vipa Running's Javelina 100,
Yep.
which is a Western qualifier, and I think their 100K is. I'm not positive
I actually don't know
if it's even an option. Yeah, I feel like I got to get one done. It's just a matter of, is it going to be the last minute one that we do at the end of the year? Probably.
I just want to give a shout out to Lawton Hare. He says, I proposed to my now fiance before the Cooper River Bridge run in Charleston. Just want to share that with you and Ethan. Congratulations.
Nice.
That's huge. You okay?
I just was like, I missed the first part of it.
He proposed to
his
fiance. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. I hope she said yes.
He said she's now his fiance.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm assuming she said yes, as opposed to you just like demanding that she said yes. That's great news, man. That's awesome. I was going to say, I proposed to you at a race. That's not true. It was a fake out hike run. That's what it was. That's pretty good.
Yep.
If I must say so myself. What else? Anything else in the chat room? If not, we're calling it quits.
Somebody says, do it, Javelina.
Okay, cool. I think that might be it.
Yeah.
You guys are fantastic. Again, thank you for sticking around tonight, especially for the post show, because this I know was probably the best 10 minutes of your life, at least today, and more lactating jokes. Very excited to be sweating out in my Territory Run shirt.
Somebody just asked if we had air conditioning.
We do.
We do, and it is very hot in here, but we are also both sick.
Yeah, and I'd love to turn the AC on, but I'm like, I'm kind of that person that's like, we're holding out. We're holding out to the last possible moment.
I feel like I don't really need it yet.
It's April. I don't want to be bumping out the AC in April. It's going to get warmer by the end of the week, so we may. Who knows? Get out there, train hard, race harder, party hardest, everybody, and continue to inspire, continue to share your stories. I look forward to the community every single week in the chat room. I love like watching the chat and the chatter that happens, because a lot of the time it turns into tangents, and the tangents are hilarious and often very distracting.
And even if you guys like, Amber tweeted us both today, like we like that kind of stuff too. Like, it doesn't have to be this big thing, like we love hearing about your races or your long runs or your short runs, like anything like that. We love hearing that stuff. That inspires us and that helps keep us going.
Bring it on Twitter, bring it on Instagram, all that stuff. Let us know. Post photos, tag us, because we always love seeing that stuff too. Yeah, there's been a lot of really great tags on photos of people, joining a group of 5 or 6 other people and going on a trail run and tagging us and like, thank you guys. It's pretty damn awesome. So that's it for tonight's episode. Super excited about next week's. Do not miss it.
Yay.
Do not miss it. Yay. Thank you guys. We're gonna go make dinner and sweat. Don't say anything. That's the end. See you guys.